Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ronnie Stockholm, proud to welcome you once again to NWC Tonight. And of course, we are coming off of an unexpected 2-week absence due to some, well, we'll just call them technical difficulties. The old 2K virus has reared its head again and required us to do some jumping jacks to get the NWC machine back to where it belongs. But we are back and arguably better than ever because NWC is coming back from what we are calling a hard reset. Yes, nation, we are celebrating our triumphant return the only way that we know how, and that is with a special impromptu supercard level event. Now, the last time that the National Wrestling Council was under the weather, we delivered to you the first ever NWC Make Your Mark Men's Battle Royal, a match where 20 of NWC's top male competitors fought in an over-the-top time delay battle royal with a chance to have a showcase match on NWC Tonight on the line. Well, we're doing it again, folks, this time with our women's roster. Yes, at the end of this evening, we're going to be holding a very special 20-woman Royal Rumble-style event where, at 2-minute intervals, women will enter the ring one at a time. After 20 women have entered, one will remain, and that woman will have made her mark and will receive a special NWC showcase match at a future edition of NWC Tonight. In addition to that, our women's champion Anna Sokolov has made the commitment that she herself will be in this match. She is looking for the best of the best in competition, and she is prepared to put her women's championship on the line. Any woman in this battle royal that can eliminate Anna Sokolov will receive a shot at her INCW championship next week on NWC Tonight. What an exciting event, but that is only the tip of the iceberg. In addition to that, this evening we'll be seeing the final match in the first round of the INCW Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. We'll be seeing La Familia take on the Mason family. In addition to that, we will be seeing the PWA Tag Team Champions Reckless Love in action against some suitable competition. We will also be seeing the BIG Championship, the bona fide Internet Championship, defended in its own way in a special Firewall Challenge. All this and much more over the course of the next 90 minutes as NWC completes its hard reset and gets back to doing what it does best, and that is putting on the most exciting top-shelf wrestling action anywhere. Folks, without further ado, let's take you to ringside for our first match. For our first contest of the evening, we will be seeing La Familia, Big Tony and Little Anthony taking on Kid Mason and Jeremy Mason in the final match of the first round of our continuing INCW #1 Contenders Tag Team Tournament. The winner of this tournament will get a shot against our current reigning defending INCW Tag Team Champions, the Diners Club, in a future edition of NWC Tonight. Of course, Big Tony and Little Anthony, Big Tony the enforcer of La Familia, Little Anthony the made man himself, both under the direction of Miss Tiffany. They've been given orders to head down to that ring and do what the family does the best, and that is to assert themselves in a dominating fashion. La Familia has had quite a bit of success here in NWC. Of course, veterans of INCW, former INCW heavyweight champion Big Tony there, always looking to make his mark here in the squared circle and remind the world what a dominating, intimidating force this near 7-footer can be. Flanked, as always, by Little Anthony, someone who's got quite the mouth on him, but also the moxie to back it up. And they will be taking on the duo of Kid Mason and Jeremy Mason, two members of the Mason family. Of course, Kid Mason, a former INCW champion himself, and Jeremy Mason, one of the strongest competitors in all of NWC. This powerhouse duo is definitely looking to add the INCW Tag Team Championships to their already impressive resume. Again, this is the final match in the first round of the tournament. The winner here, the winning team, will go on to round 2 to join the other 3 teams that have advanced. And of course, over the course of the next few weeks, one of these teams will earn a shot against the INCW Tag Team Champions, the Diners Club, represented by Shade and Chonk, at least in their current incarnation. Of course, according to Marty Dinkle and the Freebird rule, any members of the Diners Club can defend those belts. The bell is rung and we are underway, and immediately Big Tony asserts himself by just shoving Kid Mason to the mat and following up with a vicious knee shiver. Tagging out immediately to the diminutive Little Anthony, who starts with a forearm to the kidneys of Kid Mason, sends Mason to the ropes, comes back up and just punches him down with that gloved hand, and just going to town with right hands to the cranium of Kid Mason. Little Anthony, just a vicious little pit bull there in the ring. Mason showing, though, that he is no slouch himself. Kid Mason, an impressive win-loss record in his time in INCW. One of the most vicious and effective competitors in all of that eclectic organization. Not necessarily the most popular wrestler, but certainly one with quite a lot of wins to his name. Tags out to big Jeremy Mason. The two of them just send Little Anthony slamming him back first into their own turnbuckle. And my goodness, would you look at the size disparity between these two men. Jeremy Mason, one of the only men taller than Big Tony here on the roster. He is tipping the scales at in excess of 7 feet tall, and you can see that mere 2-foot height difference between him and Little Anthony. Mason tags back out to Mason. Of course, both Masons, members of the Mason family, masters of the Mason kick. And would you look at that, Kid Mason immediately going to Big Tony. What's he going to do here? He's on the top rope. Oh, decides better of it. No, going to the top rope a second time. Big Tony, unawares, standing to his feet slowly, and he just eats a flying cross body from the top turnbuckle to the outside of the ring. Meanwhile, Little Anthony and oh, goodness gracious, from outside the ring, Jeremy Mason blindsiding Little Anthony and making him easy pickings for a back attack by Kid Mason. Mason's got him. What's he going to do here? Picks him up. Oh my goodness, throwing powerbomb style maneuver, an inverted powerbomb whip. That's going to be enough to send him to his own corner, and Big Tony comes in but immediately eats a DDT for his trouble. Kid Mason certainly feeling it. Feeling the energy of this capacity crowd. Of course, it's been a couple of weeks since the NWC has been here in action in front of you folks, and you can see the fans here in attendance are incredibly excited, as is, I'm sure, everyone at home, to get back to the amazing action that only NWC can bring. Oh, did you see that? Jeremy Mason just delivers a huge knee right to the side of Big Tony's head. Oh, and just sandwiches the big man in the corner. Mason family extremely effective here. Goes for a quick pin. And Big Tony kicks out with a commanding 2 there. Tony, though, looking to try to make a tag to his partner. Big Tony is definitely not used to being in a situation in which he is matched pound for pound, strength for strength. I would say Jeremy Mason is every bit the gargantuan behemoth that Big Tony is. Kid Mason, what's he doing here? Slams Big Tony face first into the mat. But he was caught parading to the crowd long enough for Little Anthony to make his mark. Oh, but Little Anthony just takes a solid shot in the back of the head. The Mason family, an extremely potent and effective tag team, certainly showing their family synergy there. Usually Big Tony and Little Anthony have a tremendous amount of tag team unity there. Quick tags, taking advantage of what each brings to the ring, but the Masons are just picking them apart today. And again, this gigantic, spinning knee shiver takes Little Anthony out. This could be it, folks. 1, 2, and Anthony somehow able to get a shoulder up. But Mason is stalking him, and ladies and gentlemen, twice Jeremy Mason goes for that patented Mason kick, but the height difference between him and Little Anthony too great. He cannot kick him. Have we seen the Achilles heel of the Mason family? Apparently not. Kid Mason comes in and nails that Mason kick, but oh goodness, you got to think that Jeremy Mason might feel like he's had his legs cut out from underneath him, completely unable to nail that Mason kick due to the 2-foot height difference between him and his opponent. Big time frog splash, but Big Tony there to break it on up. Oh, and would you look at that? Talk about moxie. Spear to Kid Mason, goes for the pin, and Mason able to get a shoulder up. Never ever count Little Anthony out. He did extremely well in the light heavyweight 4-person elimination match at NWC Full Effect. Certainly made an impression on the NWC Nation. But Kid Mason is stalking him. What is he going to go for here? Mason kick right in the center of the ring, goes for the pin. And once again, the big man of La Familia able to break up the pin. But Big Tony gets thrown outside the ring. And look at that! Little Anthony big-time clothesline takes Kid Mason out, and now he's going to town on the big man. What's he going to do? Oh, would you look at that! Huge fists to the chest and throat area of Jeremy Mason. He is showing him that it is not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. And launches himself on an unawares Kid Mason. Little Anthony is by himself, taking out the Mason family. Both members of the Mason family absolutely destroyed on the outside of the ring by all 112 pounds of Little Anthony. Little Anthony with a Northern Lights release suplex. And sends Kid Mason into the ring. Oh, but gets shoved down by Jeremy Mason, who says, "Not today, little man." Oh, but Little Anthony definitely holding his own, delivers some shots to the solar plexus. Boy, this is not the first time I've made this observation, but he is like a little pit bull in there. Once he gets a hold of you, goodness gracious, once he gets a hold of you, you are in trouble. And oh goodness, big time spear on Kid Mason, goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Mason able to get a shoulder up. Mason was too busy taking out Big Tony, did not see, ate that huge spear from Little Anthony. The Mason family in deep trouble right now as Little Anthony is on a tear. Ducks underneath, and another big-time spear goes for the pin. But Jeremy Mason recovered enough to go ahead and make that save. Like a bullet flying through the air, Little Anthony on target today. Dropkick takes out the knee of the former INCW World Champion. Mason kicks him off. Has him up. What's he going to do? Picks him up. Small package driver right into the middle of the ring. Decides not to go for a pinfall, however. Big time super kick. And an injured Kid Mason taking it to the top rope. What's he going to do? Big frog splash, goes for the pin. 1, 2, and somehow, against all odds, Little Anthony able to get his shoulder up. Big Tony was in no position to rescue him there. That was all Anthony, ladies and gentlemen. And that's also all Anthony flying through the stratosphere from that shoulder block by Jeremy Mason. Jeremy Mason also has Big Tony up, drops him back first on the hardest part of the ring. But manages can't manage to avoid that knee shiver by Little Anthony. Tremendous action here in our first return match here at NWC Tonight. The family and the Masons really making a great showing for themselves, showing us just how deep our tag team division goes. Tremendous action from these four absolutely stellar competitors. Inside the ring, Little Anthony taking out Kid Mason, while outside the ring, Jeremy Mason beating the snot out of Big Tony. Little Anthony has Jeremy Mason and just takes him out with an improbable clothesline. Goes for the pin right in the middle of the ring. The tag team partners have been taken out, but Jeremy Mason just too dang big to stay down. Again, Little Anthony going at him. Just a series of attacks, just driving Mason into the corner. Tags out to Big Tony. La Familia sends Jeremy Mason to the ropes. Double backdrop. And Jeremy Mason trying to make his way to the corner for a tag, using the ropes to pull himself up. What is he going to do next here? Uh-oh. It looks as if Big Tony's going to return the favor to Jeremy Mason. Drops him spine first on that hard, unforgiving apron. Jeremy Mason fighting back, though, sends Big Tony back into the ring. Big Tony, though, what's he going to do? Has Mason up, just showing tremendous power, walking around the ring with him inverted 180 degrees in the air, and drops him right in the middle of the ring, letting that blood rush to his brain. Were it not for Kid Mason's fast footwork, that could very well have been it, ladies and gentlemen. Both of these teams are truly showing what they can do. Jeremy Mason has Big Tony up. Big suplex of his own. And another one, just heaving the nearly 400 pounds of Big Tony through the air as if he were a cruiserweight. Mason tagging out to the former INCW champion. Attempted dropkick goes nowhere, just bounces off the bulk of Tony. What's Tony going to do here? Oh, just drops him spine first on his own wrist. And oh my God, Big Tony is in the air. What is Big Tony going to do? Nothing, thankfully. Oh, but there was a fake out. He shoulder blocks Jeremy Mason and then just takes down Kid Mason with a huge clothesline. 1, 2, and your winners. Moving their way on to the second round of the INCW tournament, La Familia. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought the Masons had that one mid-match, but thanks to the moxie of Little Anthony and the absolute girth of Big Tony, La Familia has taken down the Mason clan and will move on one step closer to getting a shot at those INCW Tag Team Championships. These two looked great tonight, once again asserting themselves as the dominant force that they are. La Familia is here, they are in the house, and they are strong. Folks, we're going to keep this going. We have many more matches tonight. Our next one, a very interesting development. We have Oliver Sin taking on the INCW Openweight and PWA Light Heavyweight Champion Derek Arzon. Of course, FU and Sanctum have been at each other's throats since before Full Effect. There's been a tremendous series of matches between these two. We have not seen this one-on-one combination just yet, but we are looking forward to seeing the aggression continue between these two furious factions. Now, of course, Oliver Sin, an interesting case here, because at NWC Full Effect, at NWC Full Effect, Chris Knight won the opportunity to challenge for Derek Arzon's Light Heavyweight Championship. But then on the first episode of NWC Tonight Season 2, Chris Knight fought Oliver Sin one-on-one, and in very controversial fashion, Oliver Sin managed to get the victory. So while Chris Knight does still have an opportunity at Derek Arzon's championship coming, his number one contender status has been put in, at least from a social sense, in question because Oliver Sin managed to take him down. So the question for anyone asking is, well, in that case, is Oliver Sin in line for some sort of a title opportunity against Derek Arzon after his victory over Chris Knight? Now, Chris Knight, of course, still will most definitely get his shot, but tonight we're going to be answering that question. This is a non-title affair, but certainly if Oliver Sin can beat Chris Knight and then also get a non-title victory over Derek Arzon, he would have to be in consideration for that light heavyweight championship title shot, whether that is against Derek Arzon or whether that is against Chris Knight. So tonight we'll be watching this for a number of reasons, not just to see what Oliver Sin can do here in this non-title situation, but also to see the continued aggressions between Sanctum and FU. Now, FU scored quite a bit of ground over Sanctum leading into Full Effect, but since Full Effect, it has been all Sanctum. At Full Effect, Rhett Holiday and Oliver Sin defeated the FU team of Derek Arzon and the Spoiler. A week later at Retro Rampage, the trio of FU was able to also get another victory over, the trio of Sanctum was able to get another victory over FU. And just last week, Evelyn Sin, in a one-on-one match against Nikki Wild, another member of FU, scored a controversial victory. So Sanctum has been firing on all cylinders. They have not dropped a pinfall or submission since prior to Full Effect. So certainly this match could say a lot about the momentum of Sanctum as we continue to move through Season 2. You can see Derek Arzon there holding the two championships that he so proudly carries. Of course, the NWC Championship Committee made a statement stating that they are going to be putting a lot of emphasis on these PWA championships. The PWA Light Heavyweight Championship, Heavyweight Championship, and Tag Team Championships didn't get a lot of defenses during the last season of NWC. That is going to change. And certainly Derek Arzon is going to be a busy man as long as he's holding on to both those belts. Oliver Sin coming in hot and furious with a series of chops to the chest. Derek Arzon fighting his way out. Big-time belly-to-belly suplex against one of the Sin twins. Of course, Oliver Sin, the twin brother of Evelyn Sin. Evelyn Sin, of course, will be in our Make Your Mark Battle Royal later on this evening as well. Of course, tonight's Battle Royal is going to feature 20 of the top competitors here in NWC, 20 of the top female competitors, all vying for not only a chance to make their mark here in NWC, but also vying for an opportunity at Anna Sokolov's INCW Women's Championship. Should be a very exciting main event. Oliver Sin with just a huge hammering right hand to the back of Derek Arzon. I'll tell you, Oliver Sin has always been an extremely strong individual, but ever since coming back into the spotlight, joining NWC, I feel like Sin has put on maybe 15 to 20 pounds of sheer muscle there. He was never known as the biggest dog in the fight, but you can just see the size of those trapezius muscles, those shoulders, those biceps. Oliver Sin is a powerhouse. Not that Derek Arzon's any slouch himself. Derek Arzon in fantastic shape. Arzon sent to the ropes, shoulder-to-shoulder collision. And Arzon has Sin up and just dumps him like yesterday's crash in the center of the ring. Goes for a quick pinfall. Probably going to take more than that. Not even a one count, but certainly a psychological game at play here by the leader of FU. Sent to the ropes, big-time Japanese arm drag, beautiful textbook maneuver, goes for the pin. Quick little 2 count there. I think Derek Arzon was just conserving his strength, though. Oh my goodness, Derek Arzon, big-time clothesline, sends Oliver Sin to the floor, follows him out, but eats a satellite head scissors. Mile-a-minute action, ladies and gentlemen. Oliver Sin sends Arzon into the barricade. And what's he doing here? Some joint manipulation. Just stomps on that outer arm, inverting that elbow. Of course, Derek Arzon uses the right arm, shoulder, and elbow for the thunder stroke. So certainly neutralizing that is going to be advantageous for the ever impressive Oliver Sim. Oliver, half and half suplex to Derek Arzon, sent him flying across the ring. Repositioning his man here. A very smart tactician in the ring, even though he can sometimes let his vicious streak get the better of him. Big forearm shiver to the side of the head of Derek Arzon. And a stomp to the ankle. He is a surgeon in the ring, folks. Goes for a pin. 1, 2, and Arzon manages to get a shoulder up. Derek Arzon, it should be noted, has not dropped a singles match since mid-season 1. He did lose a count-out match to Mil Mojito. It's an impressive light heavyweight encounter, but Derek Arzon has not been pinned or submitted in singles competition here in NWC. He had a tremendous record in INCW as well, so he is standing on quite a lot of momentum here. Arzon sends Oliver over and has him in a variation of the arm blitz, just torquing that arm. Doesn't have it quite cinched in, though. Oliver was able to stiffen that arm up and block it. And he managed, I believe, to get out of it before ever having his arm fully extended. Oh, goodness gracious, folks! Black Cross right in the middle of the ring. Vicious maneuver. This could be it. 1, 2, and somehow Derek Arzon able to get a shoulder up, which is very impressive, because that Black Cross has finished many competitors in PWA. Flying body splash, goes for that pinfall again. 1, 2, and Derek Arzon one more time gets a shoulder up, but lightning Derek Arzon is in big trouble, ladies and gentlemen, going outside the ring to try to catch his breath, try to break this momentum that Oliver Sin has. What is Oliver going to do here? Flies between the ropes, shoulder block, takes Derek Arzon down. Arzon is in deep trouble, ladies and gentlemen. But Arzon manages to reverse that forearm, sends Sin back into the ring. Trying to regain some sense of control. Thunder stroke right into the middle of the ring. Goes for the pin. Folks, this could be it. But no, Oliver Sin manages to get a shoulder up. Both of these competitors have kicked out of their opponent's best maneuvers. Where do they go from here? Derek Arzon slamming Oliver arm first into the ground. That's going to weaken him for the arm blitz for sure. But what's Arzon going to do? Beautiful moonsault to Oliver Sin. And he's repositioning his opponent. What is Derek Arzon going to do to try to finish him off? And he's got him in the arm blitz. Arm blitz right in the middle of the ring. And yes, full extension, but Oliver Sin able to reverse the pressure, manages to get out of it with a series of shots to the face. Derek sends Oliver to the ropes, goes for a knee shiver. Oliver manages to avoid it, takes him down with an amateur takedown here, and just hammers him in the back of the head. And what's he going to do? He is stalking Derek Arzon, kick to the gut, and Black Cross, second Black Cross of the match. Arzon is out. 1, 2, and at the last possible second, somehow Derek Arzon able to get that shoulder up again. But Oliver keeping the pressure on. Satellite head scissors, stomp to the back of the neck. Oliver following Derek out. Derek trying to get away from Oliver, trying to find some chance to regroup. He has eaten 2 Black Crosses, and he looks like he is out on his feet, or out on his back even. Arzon, though, vicious pit fighting skills, manages to pull away with a couple of solid right forearms to the jaw. Half and half suplex on Oliver Sin, right onto that hard, matted surface below. Big kick to the solar plexus as well. Derek Arzon showing that he was not done, not by a long shot. Series of chops to the chest. Right hands, kicks to the gut. And one more suplex on the mat below. The great equalizer, that concrete floor outside. Another big snap punch and sends Oliver cascading across the ring. Goes inside the ring here. What's Arzon going to do? Oh, it looks like he was just using that chance to break the count. He is not going to be satisfied with a count-out victory. He wants to beat this man. Of course, remember, FU and Sanctum have had a blood feud going for almost half a season now. Derek Arzon would love nothing more than to get a decisive pinfall or submission victory on the disciple of Rhett Holiday. Arzon really going to work. Oh, but Oliver Sin fighting back, using that weight advantage, just muscling his way out. Solid left hand to the jaw of Derek Arzon. And look at this here, Oliver Sin is daring Arzon to come back in the ring. Arzon definitely taking his time. Referee telling him to get back in the ring. What's Arzon going to do here? If he doesn't take this seriously, he's going to be at risk of being counted out. But I've got to say, I think Arzon could make it back in if he needed to. Arzon slides in and... oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, he caught Oliver sleeping. Quick, lightning, quick thunder stroke. 1, 2, and ladies and gentlemen, 3 count, your winner, the current reigning PWA Light Heavyweight Champion, the current reigning INCW Openweight Champion. One and done. One maneuver in the center of that ring. Massive thunderstroke. And Derek Arzon has, on this night, taken out the key disciple of Rhett Holiday, the insane and always dangerous Oliver Sin, has been brought down by the leader of FU. Folks, we know that this war is far from over, but on this night, on this battlefield, FU is victorious. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going from one technically excellent match to another. We have the surgical specialist, Akira Wilde, taking on the Blueprint, Spencer Watts. These two gentlemen met each other one time in the NWC #1 Contenders Tournament last season, and we know that Spencer Watts does not feel like he did his best work. He was beaten by Akira Wilde, one solid surgical strike in the center of the ring, a blemish on an otherwise fantastic tournament record. Now keep in mind, Spencer Watts went on to amass a superior tournament score to Akira Wilde. Spencer Watts made it all the way to NWC Full Effect, where he engaged in a triple threat match against Brawler Beckett and Paul Gravett for an opportunity at Damian Black's NWC World Championship. And while Spencer Watts was unsuccessful in securing that victory, his tremendous performance in the NWC tournament put him in that triple threat match, in the opening match of Full Effect, and certainly his qualifications as a top-level competitor were affirmed once again. Spencer Watts, a tremendous competitor, has seen a ton of victory here in his time in NWC. But one monkey on his back is that he has yet to score a singles victory over a long-time rival, Akira Wilde. I say rival in the sense that both Akira Wilde and Spencer Watts were in PWA. They walked parallel paths. They rarely found themselves opposite each other in the ring, but certainly they were always in competition for match of the night. Again, Spencer Watts, just a tremendous competitor, can take you out a variety of ways. Master of the flying headbutt, of the endgame submission hold, of the DTR suplex. Just an absolutely tremendous competitor, any way you slice it. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, what Chonk has just attacked Spencer Watts from behind, smashed him in the back with those meaty forearms, blasted him headfirst into the turnbuckle, into the steps outside the ring. Oh my goodness, folks, Spencer Watts has been injured, and I have no idea why Chonk did that. The referee was checking in with Spencer, and Spencer is saying, ring the bell, I want to fight, but how wise is this? We have no idea the extent of the injuries to Spencer Watts. Akira Wilde, of course, always a competitor. He will have no problem taking advantage of any injury that Spencer might have. He is going to take a victory any way that he can. That is the Wilde family way. But, folks, if I'm Spencer Watts, I might have taken a moment myself to get some medical attention, because Chonk is one of the largest and most powerful creatures that we have here in NWC, and he blasted Spencer Watts completely unawares in the back with that double axe handle shot, and then just smashed him head first, face first, into that set of unforgiving steel steps. And we don't know if Spencer is now nursing a concussion or what the situation is, let alone why Chonk did what he did. Certainly, Spencer Watts frustrated. You can see him taking it out on Akira, frustrated that this is not the way that he wanted this match to begin. But he is making the most of it. Managed to get a quick pinfall on Akira, but Akira's definitely not ready to go down just yet. Spencer Watts with a beautiful crucifix. Despite the fact that he's clearly fighting injured, Spencer definitely put his best foot forward, and he has been handling himself ably in this match. Big time power slam. Strength belaying his size, slams Akira into the ground. And Spencer knows that perhaps he's operating on borrowed time here. He isn't sure the extent of the injuries that he's sustained, so he is definitely trying to finish this match quickly. And goodness, did you see that horrible knee right to the side of Akira's head there? I believe that may have busted the surgical specialist open, so we may be dealing with a pair of injured opponents by this point. But Watts, big-time clothesline and a back fist, and Akira sends him to the ropes, but Watts comes back with a beautiful kick to the side of the head. And, comes in. Did you see that, folks? He went for that flying clothesline, but was completely off target. You have to wonder if perhaps Spencer Watts might be seeing double after that shot to the head. I have to suspect a concussion, but at the same time, it does not seem to be putting an exclamation point on Watts' evening as Watts manages the endgame right in the middle of the ring, holding on tight around Akira Wilde's throat. This could be it, folks. Spencer, in his attempt to finish this quickly, may have come upon a vicious solution to finishing the match, but nope, Akira Wilde able to fight his way out of it. And a big Akira kick right to the jaw of Spencer Watts. 1, 2. Watts showing that he still has fight left in him. Certainly Watts taken off of his game. Oh, and look at this, folks. Surgical strike. That's the maneuver that took Spencer Watts out last time. 1, 2, and Watts with a brave kick out. Watts still fighting with all that he's got. But at this point, folks, I feel like Akira might have made too much ground here. And of course, Spencer Watts again starting this match in an unfair state, attacked by Chonk. But look at this, Watts fighting his way out, neckbreaker. Pound for pound, the best fighter in all of professional wrestling. Spencer Watts, the blueprint, fighting like a lion. You can never, ever, ever count this man out. Big time elbows to the shoulders of Akira Wilde. And Watts taking to the air. What's he going to do? Waiting for Wilde to stand. And Akira had him scouted, swept his legs out from underneath him, dropkick, saw nothing, and Akira, backbreaker. Knee right to the center of the back between the shoulder blades, and a fisherman's buster as well. How much fight can Spencer possibly have left? Akira series of kicks to Spencer Watts and drops him foot first into the canvas, foot DDT. And now Akira showing his frustration, bouncing Spencer Watts' head like a basketball off that ring. If Watts is nursing a concussion, certainly that's not going to help. Clothesline to Spencer Watts, and a second one. Ducks underneath, and picture-perfect drop kick to the chest of the Blueprint. And Watts is definitely hurting now. And would you look at that? Akira Wilde has him in a dragon sleeper right in the center of the ring, really sitting down on it. And Spencer Watts has no choice but to tap out. Folks, you know that Spencer has to be disappointed here. Certainly he was looking for a chance at redemption against the Surgical Specialist for his loss in the NWC #1 Contenders Tournament. And he did not anticipate, though, that Punk would be out there to assert himself. And we still have no idea why he did that. I'm not sure what Spencer Watts did to Punk to make him feel like he had to take action here. We can only assume it has something to do with their encounter at the NWC tournament also. But folks, your winner tonight, the Surgical Specialist, Akira Wilde. Tremendous action. And ladies and gentlemen, before we take you to our next match, I've got to give you a bit of background, folks. We're about to see another edition of Vinny Durango's BIG Bonafide Internet Grand Championship. He has the BIG challenge, folks. He's employed a man who goes by the name Firewall, a masked man. Could be anyone under the mask. Any NWC superstar that can defeat Firewall gets a shot at the BIG belt. And for this one, I've got to default to KB Chronic. KB has apparently pulled some strings to get an associate of his here in NWC. I'm not quite sure who this is. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my notes here say that Scrapper Joe is, in KB's own words, he's someone he found on the street, someone he's paid with a submarine sandwich. I think he was joking, folks. Certainly, Scrapper Joe is a fantastic competitor. I'm sure we're about to see some tremendous action here. Because whoever this is going to get a chance at Vinny Durango's BIG Championship. Folks, are we sure that the NWC Championship Committee greenlit this? Nothing against Scrapper Joe. He just doesn't appear to be your standard NWC elite athlete grappler. He's dressed in street clothes. He appears to be, I don't know if he's inebriated, but his walk is certainly a little on the unsteady side. I suppose if I'm Vinny Durango, I'm feeling pretty good about my BIG championship apparently being safe. Well, what I will say, folks, is the BIG belt, the big belt, the Bonafide Internet Grand Championship, held by Vinny Durango as his personal property. It was originally the remnants of the Twitch Championship of INCW, but Vinny Durango has become determined to make a big deal of it, and what he has offered is anyone who wants this fantastic, gaudy title belt that he's created can have a shot if they can get past his internet firewall. And of course, Firewall is a masked wrestler. Anyone can be under the firewall. Oh goodness. Huh. Yeah. Anyone can be under the Firewall mask, and as it turns out, the first Firewall was apparently Jeremy Mason, and the second Firewall was, as far as we know, I believe it was Junior Cobra. As of yet, no one has been able to defeat the Firewall, which is a tough task, because certainly not only are we talking about an NWC competitor, a top-level competitor, we're talking about someone an opponent has no idea who they're fighting. Until they step in the ring, it could be anybody, so the advantage always goes to the Firewall. But I suppose in this situation, there is no advantage, because no one knows who Scrapper Joe is either. Folks, I don't know what we're in for today. All I know is that I believe, in hindsight, I believe that KB Chronic may be playing a prank on Vinny Durango. Who knows, though? Firewall could be anyone. Perhaps he's picked someone who can't wrestle. And Scrapper Joe may be a very talented competitor. We don't know, but we will in a moment. Referee has rung the bell, and we are underway. Scrapper Joe, who actually looks fairly fit, has sent Firewall to the corner. Oh, going to the top, and big knee to the back. And again, I don't know who Firewall is here, but it appears to be a person of size. Perhaps we can figure it out based upon their moveset. But appears to be in excess of 6 feet tall, probably around the 6'4" mark or so. Fairly agile as well. Would you look at that beautiful kick? Takes Scrapper Joe down. I certainly hope that KB Chronic has paid Scrapper Joe with more than just a submarine sandwich. Because getting in the ring with any high-level NWC competitor is dangerous for your health. You should not do it unless you are being well compensated. And would you look at that? Just a series of punches and kicks takes Scrapper Joe down. And let's see. Oh, but look at that. Scrapper Joe, perhaps a bum fights veteran, just taking elbows and forearms right to Firewall and really stretching out that leg as well. KB, I don't know where you found this man, but he is, he's definitely got some skills, some viciousness. What's going on here? Oh, would you look at that? He's pandering to the crowd a little bit. Maybe he should think, folks, I thought he was pandering to the crowd. He was actually sucking Firewall in. Draped him throat first across the ropes there, but Firewall has him up. Big time punch. Scrapper Joe giving up a lot of height and a lot of weight here to this masked man, who is daring him to come to fight. And I don't know that I would take this man lightly. That knee drop was pretty textbook perfect. Oh, but Firewall here on top of him. This could be it, folks. He is just hammering the facial features of Scrapper Joe. And folks, Joe's bleeding. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we may need to stop this match. Firewall is just opening up on this gentleman, this scrappy. Well, all right, Scrapper Joe fighting back in a beautiful Northern Lights bridging suplex. Only gets a 1 count, but that is some fight in him. Wow, excellent work from Scrapper Joe. And a big-time flying knee to the jaw. Goes for a pin. 1, 2, and Firewall gets a shoulder up, but very admirable attack from Scrapper Joe there. Scrapper Joe doing a shockingly good job. And folks, the spirit of INCW is alive and well. Anyone on any given night, as KB used to say. Big time flying knee drop. 1, 2, and Firewall gets a shoulder up. I don't know what Scrapper Joe is going to be able to do to take a man this size. Oh, big time super kick. And Scrapper Joe is unconscious on top of Firewall. That was all that he had, folks, but it was enough. Out of nowhere, huge super kick, and Scrapper Joe has pinned Firewall. I don't know what happened here. Look at this. A big kick, and he is out cold on top of his man. And, ladies and gentlemen, out of nowhere, from obscurity, into the NWC from parts unknown, your winner and the #1 contender to the BIG Championship, Scrapper Joe. Well, folks, anything can happen here in NWC, and that last match was certainly a testament to that. And folks, we have a ton more action here for you. And for this next match, we actually have a very special guest that we're going to bring to our broadcast booth to offer some special guest commentary. Folks, coming straight from the Wild Academy, Alyssa Wild. Alyssa, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this evening and offer your unique perspective on this upcoming match.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Ronnie. It's always great to address the NWC Nation.
Now, Alyssa, you're coming off a very interesting season here in NWC, one that was racked with controversy. Of course, you and Danica Rabin were involved in a very, very heated feud that lasted all season long, that all stemmed from perhaps a misunderstanding. Danica Raven, as a referee for NWC, was accused of potentially being paid off by the Diners Club in a match involving your brother, Akira Wilde. And that, of course, led to a series of encounters between you and Miss Raven that, of course, culminated at full effect with a hellacious cell match, a Bayou death match that, certainly was something that we had never before seen here in NWC.
Well, Ronnie, that's one way of putting it. You know, I do my best to always represent the Wilde family, represent the values that my family is known for, and one of those values is integrity. And if there's one thing I can't stand is when someone abuses their power like Danica was accused of doing.
So is that still your belief that Danica Raven was paid off by Vinny Durango and was the one responsible ultimately for the feud that you two had?
Well, you know, Ronnie, if I'm being honest, I don't really know what I believe now. I've had a lot of time to reflect on what occurred between me and Danica, and I guess all I'll say is that I'm willing to be the bigger person, and I am ready to start fresh, turn over a new leaf, and you know what? I wish Danica the very best this season.
Good luck indeed to Danica Raven and her partner, Chris Knight, as they look to take on Reckless Love, the current reigning PWA Tag Team Champions. Now, of course, Reckless Love have been very vocal about wanting to see their titles showcased more often on NWC television, and they're getting their chance tonight. In fact, the NWC Championship Committee has awarded Miss Raven and Mr. Knight this opportunity based on their stellar win-loss record, and thanks in no small part for Danica, her victory at full effect over you, Alyssa. As I understand it, if they can defeat Reckless Love tonight in this non-title affair, they will earn a shot at the PWA Tag Team Championships next week on NWC Tonight. Hopefully, this is what Reckless Love wanted. They've been, again, very, very vocal about wanting to see their titles showcased, and they're going to get a chance to do just that.
I'll tell you, Ronnie, I'm really looking forward to this match. A lot of people give Reckless Love crap. They don't get the respect that they deserve, sometimes because of their attitude, but when it comes to bringing it in the ring, these guys are the real deal. I fought them on many occasions. Damian Black and I fought them in the King of the Deathmatch tournament, and they can bring it. They are champions for a reason. This should be a fantastic match, and Danica and Chris Knight are going to really have to watch their backs if they want to get past these two.
And speaking of their opponents this evening, Danica Raven and Chris Knight, these are two that have never teamed before. In fact, it was the NWC Championship Committee that suggested this pairing, citing both of their very impressive records, their wins at full effect, their tremendous win-loss records on NWC Tonight, and thanks in no small part for Danica, her several excellent matches against you, Alyssa. And these two have earned the right to compete at this high level. The question is, though, will they be able to work together? Now, Danica, of course, you've been in the ring with, but Chris Knight, you also have a little bit of history with. Do you want to elaborate on the Wilde family's history with Chris Knight?
Yeah, Chris Knight's actually an in-law of mine. He's the cousin of my husband, Damon Knight, and he spent a lot of time at the Wilde Academy when he was first starting out. I had a chance to work with him a few years ago, but honestly, it wasn't too long before he went out on his own, started traveling the world, making a name for himself. It was a total shock to me when he showed up here in NWC.
And Chris Knight certainly has made a heck of a name for himself in a very short amount of time, as has Danica. The bell has rung, and we are underway. Danica with a wrist lock and just a beautiful kick to the face of one half the PWA Tag Team Champion, Cynthia Love. Danica, of course, has shown in the past that she has a tremendous, vicious streak when she needs to bring it out, and she is certainly showing it now with a series of kicks to the head for Cynthia. Sends Cynthia Love to the ropes, and a spinning kick takes Love down. So far, this has been all Danica. Beautiful tilt-a-whirl kick to the back. Goes for a quick pinfall. 1, 2, and a kick out. I've got to think that Cynthia Love was taken off guard by this absolute flurry of offense.
Yeah, Ronnie, I'll be the first to admit Danica is one hell of a competitor. She has a different gear that she can pull out anytime she wants. She is just, the sky's the limit with Danica and where she wants to take her career. I may not be her biggest fan, but I can admit that she's got some tremendous skills.
Speaking of tremendous skills, Chris Knight just absolutely taking it to a very cocky Titus Love. Fisherman's Buster right in the center of the ring by Knight. Go behind, and I guess we could call that a rolling Grecoplex. Of course, Chris Knight, as you mentioned, trained briefly in the Wild Academy, but a lot of the skills that he has, he picked up on his own through the School of Hard Knocks. Beautiful suplex, floats over into a pin. 1, 2, and Cynthia in to help break up the pinfall. Reckless Love is going to have to really turn it up if they want to take out these two tremendous competitors. Of course, Alyssa, as you mentioned, Reckless Love brings a lot of skills to bear here, and even though they haven't had the greatest win-loss record here in NWC, that's because they put a lot of time in the singles division. In their effort to get noticed, Titus and Cynthia have been taking on pretty much any match they could, and unfortunately have ended up on the losing end of quite a few contests. But that does not change the fact that when it comes to tag team synergy, few can match the husband and wife duo of Cynthia and Titus Love. Danica poised on the top rope. What's she going to do? Cynthia manages to avoid a kick, but does not avoid that flipping senton flying through the air, taking out the blonde bombshell Cynthia Love. Danica, what's she going to do? Has Cynthia up and just gives her a huge right hand and a big-time dragon suplex right in the center of the ring. 2 count. Titus a little slow on the draw there, trying to help his wife.
Doesn't it just disgust you a little bit, Ronnie, the way that Titus dotes over Cynthia? I mean, love is one thing, but the way that he treats her and the way that she treats him, it's pretty gross, wouldn't you say?
Well, far be it from me to expound on the sanctity of marriage here, but all I can say is I'm glad that I'm not married to Cynthia Love. I have a feeling that would be a special kind of hell. And would you look at that, a stare down there between Titus and Chris Knight. Knight outside the ring, I think he was surprised by that sudden burst of offense by Titus. And look at that beautiful suplex by Titus Love. We can't discount the amateur background of Titus. He was a collegiate wrestler with a tremendous record. And Titus with a solid knee to the solar plexus of Chris Knight. And look at this. Oh, going for a dragon suplex of his own, but Knight stomping on the foot. Chris Knight certainly willing to do whatever it takes to get an advantage. Titus managing to elbow out. Wow, a series of reversals between these two. And Chris Knight, oh my goodness, with a huge throwing belly-to-belly suplex. Just absolutely fantastic, fast-paced action between these two teams. And, I've got to say, Chris Knight and Danica are really accounting for themselves extremely well. Titus forced to grab the rope. It does not bode well for the progress of this match for Reckless Love. And look at this. What's Chris Knight going to do? Flipping senton inside of the ring to out. Huge agility from Chris Knight. Oh, and right there, it goes for a headbutt into the ground, eats nothing but canvas mat, and look at that. Titus very proud of himself for avoiding that attack by Chris Knight. And Chris Knight and Titus squaring off. And would you look at that, a backstabber. Knight floats over into that beautiful chin lock. That's a signature maneuver of his, ladies and gentlemen. Danica in very quickly, though, to break it up.
Man, I'll tell you, Ronnie, it is so great to see all the progress that Chris has made. I was right there when he was first starting out, and this guy that I'm seeing right in front of me here, this technical masterpiece here, this is not the same wrestler that walked in wet behind the ears at the Wild Academy. Chris Knight is a machine, and he's going to go places here in NWC.
I think in a lot of ways he's already there. The number one contender, Derek Arzon's light heavyweight championship, someone sitting on just a tremendous winning record, and one step away here from being potentially number one contender to the PWA Tag Team Championships. This is a tremendous match, by the way. I can't state enough, how impressive all of the members in this match are. Titus Love and Cynthia Love really taking things to a new level, really turning up the heat here to match the intensity of their opponents. Titus pacing himself in the corner, and what's he going to do? Oh, attempting a huge shoulder block to send Knight to the floor, but Knight smartly intercepts it, but Titus able to catch that double underhook. Beautiful amateur-style suplex right in the center of the ring. And Titus now going to the top rope. What's he going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Beautiful moonsault has Knight down. One. And Danica in to make the save. Both Danica and Chris just tremendous heads-up wrestling ring awareness. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Till Death Do We Part. Titus Love's finisher, and Chris Knight manages to hammer his way out of it. That triangle hold has finished many matches for Titus Love. But look at that capture suplex. Sends the PWA Tag Team Champion flying through the air. Goes for the pin. And like a rocket through the stratosphere, Cynthia Love there to break it up. Mile-a-minute action, folks. And right there, Chris Knight again floats over into that beautiful chin lock. He's got Titus, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Your winners and new number one contenders to the PWA Tag Team Championships, Danica Raben and Chris Knight.
All right, I'll admit it. I'll give the devil her due. Danica did her job in this match. She and Chris Knight, they took it to Reckless Love. They're your number one contenders, and Ronnie, I gotta say, I think these two are gonna take those titles next week. Good for them.
Absolutely fantastic action. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not finished yet. So Melissa, I'll go ahead and excuse you so you can go ahead and get ready for the Make Your Mark Women's Battle Royal later on this evening, as we now turn our attention to singles action in the men's division. And folks, look at this tremendous encounter we have right in front of us. We're going to be seeing the son of the legendary Viking taking on Brawler Beckett in singles action. Of course, Thorkel, the son of the Viking, has really made his own mark here last week when he debuted in a tremendous singles encounter. But I'll tell you what, he has his work cut out for him, because in only his sophomore effort here on NWC Tonight, he'll be taking on the one and only Your Mother's Champion, Brawler Beckett. Now, of course, Brawler Beckett, for longtime viewers of our program, needs no introduction. He has been a thorn in the side of many NWC competitors. And tonight, the Viking, the legacy of the Viking is going to be on display here. Thorkel is going to do his best to do what no one has been able to do yet, and that is shut up Brawler Beckett for good. Of course, Thorkel is just an absolute specimen of a competitor. This young man is carved straight out of granite. He is a tremendous competitor. He brings a combination of strength and intensity and skill that few people can match. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and that is a true statement here, as the son of the legendary Viking looks to continue his father's legacy here in NWC. And look who he has to face in order to help cement his reputation. The one and only Lord Bartholomew Brawler Beckett, Your Mother's Champion. This British aristocrat, this Scottish lord, he actually holds a lordship. Of course, I don't really know how valid a lordship is over a 1 foot by 1 foot square piece of earth in Scotland, but it is official, according to the paperwork hanging from his wall. I'll tell you, folks, Brawler Beckett, what more can be said about this man? Well, here's one I'll do for you. Brawler Beckett is, against all odds, despite himself, an absolutely stellar competitor. He is one of the finest professional wrestlers in the history of the business, and he has absolutely no scruples, which means that he is willing to do anything it takes in order to win. Imagine combining some of the finest technical submission skills that this world has ever seen with a willingness to cheat at any level in order to get done what he needs to in that ring. That makes for a potent combination. And let me tell you, Brawler Beckett is incredibly difficult to beat, much to the chagrin and frustration of KB Chronic and countless other men that he has fought over the years. Will Brawler Beckett add the son of the Viking to his list, his long list of vanquished foes? Or will Thorkill do something that very few men have done, and that is put a dent in the veneer of the brawler? Starting out strong, Brawler Beckett immediately, with a backbreaker, twists it into a neck breaker, dropping Thorkill straight to the canvas. Again, Brawler Beckett, look at this. Oh, look at that. Like kicking a stone wall, and Thorkill with a big-time spine buster. Credit to Beckett, he came straight at Thorkill. I hope he doesn't underestimate this young man. Not a lot of experience under the belt for Thorkill, but he has a championship pedigree running through his veins. Brawler Beckett taking a powder outside the ring, but Thorkill having none of that. On the top rope, giant Warhammer-style axe handle to the crown of Brawler Beckett, following it up with a huge DDT, spiking Beckett head first right into that canvas. Thorkill keeping the offense up, sends Beckett into the corner, and begins working on that arm. Of course, this Viking warrior, a tremendous arsenal of offense at his disposal, not the least of which is a glorious burning hammer that he uses to drive his opponents head first into the canvas. Amateur-style takedown by the Viking warrior. And a big stomp to the back of the shoulder, looking to dislocate the arm there of Brawler Beckett. Has Beckett, what's he going to do with him? Drapes him over the rope and sends him to the ropes. Oh, a shoulder-to-shoulder collision. But Thorkill answering back with a series of strikes and a throwing suplex. I believe Brawler Beckett's going to need to slow the pace down here. Oh, but Thorkill says none of that. A clothesline, followed by a second clothesline and a third, and Beckett is reeling. He has been on the defense ever since this match began. Brawler Beckett, though, far from being done, sends Thorkill to the ropes. Comes off with an efficient power slam right in the middle of the ring, and follows it up with a clothesline, goes for the quick pin, and manages a solid 2 count against this second-generation competitor. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Brawler Beckett, that's the Pax Britannica, ladies and gentlemen. Brawler Beckett has finished many opponents off with this debilitating submission hold, and he's really cranking back on it, too. Is Thorkill in trouble? But Thorkill manages to use a momentary distraction to drive his elbow into the temple of Beckett, force him to break the hold. Thorkill has Beckett up and drops him throat first over that top rope and just begins bouncing his head off the mat like a jackhammer into pavement. And a big-time right hand. Nothing pretty about that, ladies and gentlemen. Thorkill letting Brawler Beckett know that he has his number. And he sends Beckett to the corner turnbuckle, stalking his man, and driving him brain first right into that turnbuckle. And now goes back to that arm again, trying to hyperextend that shoulder. And slams him face first again. And oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is the setup for that burning hammer. Oh my goodness, what is he going to do? And he drops Brawler Beckett head first into the center of the ring. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. What a short and decisive victory. And somehow How Brawler Beckett manages to get a shoulder up. I spoke too soon, and the Rummy Brawler still has some fight left in him. But he goes, Viking's son goes for that axe handle again. This time Beckett has it scouted, but Thorkel manages to elbow out and goes to throw Beckett back into the ring, but Beckett says nothing doing. Thorkel says, that's just fine, I'll just throw you around out here instead. Big time elbow drop on the Brawler, and goes for a second one, but Beckett moves out of the way. Beckett now looking to put some distance between him and Thorkel. Heads back into the ring, taking his time. Oh, would you look at that, has his hands behind his back. Such arrogance. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, big time headbutt to the crown of Beckett. Caught him completely off guard. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, Thorkel walks in and just blasts Beckett in the forehead with that Viking crown of his, and just completely knocks him for a loop. Brawler Beckett had no idea where he was. He was trying to show some attitude to Thorkel, had his hands behind his back and was trash-talking him, and then just ate a tremendous headbutt right between the eyes. Folks, your winner, what a tremendous sophomore effort here on NWC Tonight here by the son of the Viking, Thorkel. Tremendous action. Well, folks, that was a tremendous encounter, but we are not done yet. The time has come for our main event of the evening. Yes, it is time for the Women's Make Your Mark Battle Royal. Folks, this is a 20-woman Battle Royal. 2 competitors will start in the ring, and every 2 minutes, another woman will enter the ring until all 20 women have arrived. Eliminations occur via being thrown over the top rope and having both feet hit the ground. This should be an absolutely amazing match, ladies and gentlemen. Our women's division has grown by leaps and bounds in the last season, and I cannot wait to see this encounter. This is, of course, the second Make Your Mark Battle Royal, the first of which was a men's encounter, and Chonk won that match. And, of course, we've seen the tremendous things that Chonk was able to accomplish in the remainder of the season. And now, in just a moment, we will see which wrestler in this Women's Make Your Mark Battle Royal drew the unlucky number 1 slot. Of course, every 2 minutes, a new wrestler will enter the ring, and whoever drew the number 1 slot is going to be at a solid disadvantage. But stranger things have happened, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Who is heading down the aisle? Oh, NWC Nation, unlucky number 1 is your former women's INCW champion, Nikki Wilde. I'm sure Nikki was not thrilled to find out that she's going to have to go bell to bell if she wants to take home that Make Your Mark crown and opportunity. I'll tell you, Nikki, as you can see here as she heads down to the ring, looking a little different than she did last season. She has, as I understand it, gone through a very frustrating wardrobe malfunction backstage. This happened last week. She was getting ready for her match and found that all of her gear, all of that stuff that denotes her as the White Rabbit, had been stolen by an unknown party. So she's been forced to wear some old Wild Academy training gear, and she has not yet recovered her old gear. So she is definitely in a mood, folks, and I'm sure she's ready to take it out on whoever it was that drew number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, coming down the aisle, we have the Irish Rose, Lara Delaney, who made her debut in the first season of INCW, had a few very impressive encounters, certainly looking to increase her exposure, and winning this Battle Royal would certainly be a way to do that. You know, this will be Lara Delaney's first Battle Royal of her career. Speaking of firsts, folks, I have it on good authority that we will be seeing no less than 4 debuting wrestlers here in this Make Your Mark Battle Royal. We have seen some amazing new competitors as the seasons have progressed here, and tonight we're going to be seeing some new wrestlers coming to us from BPW. and from some other sources as well. This should be a tremendous encounter, and one that I will do my very best to try to keep up with. But as you can see here, in a match like this, that ring is going to fill up fast. Folks, it is an electric atmosphere as the referee rings the bell, and we are underway. Laura Delaney with a quick kick to the solar plexus of the former women's champion. Of course, both of these two are going to try to use this little opportunity that they have here to try to get a quick elimination before the ring begins to fill up. Looks like the timer is going down, and we will be seeing our first, whoever drew the number 3 slot here momentarily. And, ladies and gentlemen, number 3, Selena Sharp. The daughter, of course, of Wyatt 5 o'clock Sharp, someone who has had a bit of a rivalry with Nikki Wilde earlier in last season. Certainly she would love to get some revenge on the woman who, some say, screwed her out of a chance at the INCW Championship. Oh, but look at this. Nikki Wilde manages to orchestrate a meeting of the minds, double noggin knocker between Selena Sharp and Laura Delaney, as that timer is counting down, and the grappler who drew number 4 will head to the ring. Oh, and folks, here we have INCW veteran Sarah Davis. And if you look here, you'll notice Davis and Laura Delaney are wearing matching gear. As I understand it, backstage, these two have had serious talks about joining together as a tag team. It's not just the matching red hair and the sharing of similar colors. Of course, this is a battle royal where anything goes, so I don't believe you'll be seeing the two of them helping each other out tonight, but look for those two working together in the future. And coming in at number 5, we have 1/3 of Sanctum, the absolutely bat-spit crazy Evelyn Sin. Evelyn going right at Laura Delaney and takes her out! Oh, goodness, I thought that she had her eliminated there, ladies and gentlemen, but Delaney able to slide back in under that bottom rope. We now have 5 women in this ring, no eliminations as of yet. Big-time tornado DDT by Laura Delaney on Nikki Wilde. And Delaney outside again, and no. Oh, and would you look at this, folks? Number 6 coming into the ring, we have Megan. Now, you might not recognize her in this current guise, but this is an INCW veteran, folks. All I'll say is she was saddled with the absolute worst gimmick in the history of professional wrestling back when she was in INCW. And here she has shed that gimmick and is looking to make a name for herself as a serious competitor. Winning this battle royal would be a fantastic way for her to start down that path. Best of luck to Megan. And now coming in at number 7, the hits keep on coming, folks. This is El Vatore, this gigantic woman tipping the scales at in excess of 200 pounds, over 6'9" tall. This woman is, believe it or not, folks, the daughter of the Void Queen, D.A. We've been seeing some teasers. We thought it was the Void Queen heading to NWC, but no. It is El Vatore, the daughter of the Void Queen, the heir to the realm, as it were. And, ladies and gentlemen, it's hit after hit here. Number 8, folks, this is Morgana Rune. Rune is a member of the BPW roster. There is an eclectic group of traveling entertainers. They call themselves the Carnival, and she is a member of that group. Folks, I barely saw it here. Sarah Davis, I'm being told, was eliminated from this match. She was sent out, I believe it was by El Vatore. And would you look at that, in short order, both Selena Sharp and Megan have met their demise as well. Goodness gracious, this is all happening so fast I can't even keep track. All right, ladies and gentlemen, numbers 1 and 2, Nikki Wilde and Laura Delaney are still in this match, as is number 5, Evelyn Sin, and the newcomers to NWC, El Vatore and Morgana Rune. Oh, big time backbreaker on Rune by Evelyn Sin as that counter counts down, and we look for our next competitor to enter this match. And ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do not deceive you. Coming in at number 9, it is Danica Raven, but not just Danica, not the Danica that we saw moments ago. It is the Phantom Queen Danica Raven. And of course, it looks like immediately she goes up against Nikki Wilde, the woman that prevented her from winning the INCW Women's Championship through some very nefarious means. And that counter is counting down to our 10th competitor here in this amazing Battle Royal. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the INCW Women's Champion, the Siberian Cyborg, Anna Sokolov. And ladies and gentlemen, Anna Sokolov has stated here that if any woman in this Battle Royal can eliminate her, they will receive next week a shot at the INCW Women's Championship. Yes, folks, it's going to be a loaded NWC Tonight next week. Wow, just an amazing chokeslam from the stratosphere by El Vittori. And folks, look at this, coming in at number 11. Folks, I want to introduce you to a brand new competitor here in NWC. This is Isabel Young. This hardcore grappler was trained for the ring by INCW's KB Chronic. He's a protege of hers in a way, and he pulled some strings to get her in this match here tonight and assured us that she is going to truly impress. We'll have to see what she can do here against these seasoned veterans. I hear she is quite a catch-as-catch-can eclectic competitor. And goodness, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This ring is filling up with competitors. In fact, we've got a full house here, folks. We have 8 competitors in the ring. And according to NWC rules, in a battle royal like this, once you have 8 competitors in the ring, no one else will enter until we see an elimination. This will be a good chance for us to potentially catch our breath as we still have 9 competitors left to go. My goodness, look at the size of El Vittori. She's already secured an elimination, and look at that! Gigantic stun bun on Anna Sokolov. You know that Nikki's got to be thinking that she might want to try to secure that elimination. And by the way, speaking of Nikki, I cannot believe it, but both Nikki Wilde and Laura Delaney are still in this thing. We've had 11 competitors enter this match, and the wrestlers who drew number 1 and number 2 are still fighting strong in this contest. And in the foreground here, we have Anna Sokolov and the Phantom Queen going at it. And look at that, folks! Anna Sokolov has eliminated the Phantom Queen, Danica Raven. Certainly that was someone who we really had picked to be a potential dark horse here in this contest. And look at that, Isabel Young taking it to the former women's champion. Certainly looking to make her mark tonight. Of course, you know, it stands to mention here that Danica Raven, that was her second match she wrestled this evening, so she was certainly coming into this at a bit of a disadvantage. Still, a surprise to see the Phantom Queen go out quite so quickly. Look at this here. Oh, folks, Evelyn Sin has eliminated Laura Delaney, who had a very respectable run here in this match. But look at this here. That means that the longest surviving member in this match so far is Nikki Wilde, who has been in here since the very beginning. And we have now seen 11 competitors come in. And folks, we're going to see one more now in just a moment. And folks, we have the Siren, Sylvia Del Rey. Now, of course, Sylvia debuted last season, had found some success, would certainly love to make her mark. And, oh, my goodness, folks, in the background, Evelyn Sin tossed out Anna Sokolov. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The crazy member of Sanctum, Evelyn Sin, has punched her ticket next week to a match against Anna Sokolov for the INCW Championship. Oh, my goodness, I did not see that coming. Goodness gracious, wow. Well, folks, we have a lot of action left to go, but that is a climactic piece of news. Well, folks, there is still a Make Your Mark Battle Royal crown to award, and number 13, the masked grappler from Mexico, the protege of Snow, La Nieve, would absolutely love to take that home. Of course, the winner of this match will get a main event showcase match here on NWC tonight, and just like that, Evelyn Sin has eliminated Sylvia Del Rey. Folks, Evelyn Sin is on fire, eliminating more than one competitor in the last 3 minutes. Over on the other side of the ring, you have Isabel Young being taken to task by El Vittore. And in the foreground here, you have Evelyn and Nikki going at it. Nikki Wilde, of course, has been in this match since the very beginning. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen, our latest competitor, Jasmine Blade, who immediately eats a glacier drop from La Nieve. While in the corner, Isabel Young is taking it to other newcomer El Vittore. Just smash right in the face. And a big drop kick from La Nieve. As we see that timer count down. And our next competitor, number 15, Marie Mason. We already saw the other two members of the Mason family fighting earlier this evening in a losing effort. Will Marie Mason vindicate her brothers by taking home the Make Your Mark Battle Royal crown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 competitors in this ring right now. That is a full house. We will not see any one of our remaining 5 come in until we see an elimination. Another huge choke slam from El Vittore. La Nieve does not have good luck with gigantic competitors in NWC. Of course, she has a history with Kirishika, who may yet show up in this match. Wouldn't that be an amazing encounter, folks, if Kirishika and El Vittore managed to square off? Big choke slam by Jasmine Blade to La Nieve. And look at that, Nikki Wilde is unconscious in the corner, absolutely exhausted, having been beaten pillar to post since this match began. Isabel Young almost eliminates Jasmine Blade. El Vittore just really going to work on Marie Mason. And look at this here. Isabel Young up in the corner. Jasmine's got her up. Oh, and look at that. Very respectable showing by Isabel Young, but Jasmine Blade manages to eliminate her. And oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see who did it, but El Vittore has also been eliminated. Looks like it was Marie Mason. Oh wow, that's a bit of a shock there. The gigantic El Vittore did tremendously well here in this match, but she is going to have to live to fight another day. We are down to 5 competitors: Evelyn Sin, Nikki Wilde, Morgana Rune, Jasmine Blade, and Marie Mason. Oh, goodness gracious, there goes Nikki! Nikki, fighting for her life, manages to slide back under the ropes. Again, I stress, Nikki Wilde has been in this since the very beginning. How much more can she possibly have left? As that timer counts down to our next competitor entering the ring. Coming in at number 16, an associate of Morgana Rune from the Carnival, Kongora. Now, Kongora was raised in the wilds of Africa, and oh, goodness gracious, I guess you won't be seeing her compatriot, Morgana Rune, eliminated by Nikki Wilde. And then Kongora immediately goes after Nikki. Nikki fighting back, headbutt after headbutt to the savage woman from the jungles of Africa. And a big-time double leg drop onto Kongora. And coming in at number 17, the mother of Nikki Wilde. Will we see Wilde versus Wilde as our guest commentator for tonight? Alyssa Wilde enters the ring. Looks like Alyssa's going to take her time here. Has decided on Kongora. Don't know if that's such a good idea, folks. Unless you've had your shots. Wow, would you look at that tremendous agility from Kongora, flipping all over the place as this counter is counting down, and we will see number 18, I believe. 18 of 20 competitors in this match. And lucky number 18, we have the one and only peerless Victoria Prime, or as she likes to be known, the undefeated Victoria Prime. Victoria Prime had never been pinned, never been made to submit here in NWC. Of course, Battle Royals along these lines do not count toward win-loss records, so she is safe, her undefeated streak. But she would love nothing more than to be granted a showcase match in the main event of NWC Tonight. Oh, and in the background, folks, I just saw Nikki Wilde throw her mother out. Alyssa Wilde has been eliminated as number 19. Folks, I heard a bit about this competitor. This is Giggles the Clown. Believe it or not associated with... Oh, in the background, folks, in the background, Jasmine Blade has eliminated Nikki Wilde. Nikki managed to survive the first 19 members of this match entering the ring, but has been eliminated as we, in the twilight of this match. Tremendous showing from the former INCW Women's Champion as she hobbles her way back toward the locker room area. And folks, sorry, I was cut off earlier by my excitement there, but Giggles the Clown here, believe it or not associated with BPW's Carnival. We'll have to kind of see where she came from. She is another KB Chronic protege, if I recall. And ladies and gentlemen, coming in here at number 20, the last member of this match, La Familia's Miss Tiffany. Big Tony and Little Anthony earlier tonight won their encounter, taking them into the second round of the tag team tournament. Will Miss Tiffany make it a trifecta? Folks, look at the women in this ring right now. We have Evelyn Sin, who came in at number 5, still in this thing. We have Kongora of Bayou Wrestling. We have Marie Mason. We have Peerless Victoria Prime. We have Miss Tiffany. We have Jasmine Blade. And we have the eclectic newcomer, Giggles the Clown. One of these women will be on the receiving end of a Make Your Mark Battle Royal main event slot in next week's NWC Tonight broadcast. Wow, what absolutely amazing action we've seen so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn Sin just sprayed some sort of viscous substance in the face of Victoria Prime. I don't know what that was, but Prime is out cold, folks. She got sprayed in the face with some sort of grotesque mist from the maw of the insane Evelyn Sin, and Victoria Prime is out, ladies and gentlemen. She is completely unconscious. Marie Mason picking the bones. She has dumped Victoria Prime over the top rope, but make no mistake, it was the mist of Evelyn Sin that took out the Peerless one. Oh no! What a way for someone such as Prime to be eliminated. And look at that! Jasmine Blade Gorilla Press tosses Miss Tiffany out of the ring as well. And we are down to our final 4. Evelyn Sin, Jasmine Blade, Kongora, and Marie Mason. One of these 4 women will win the Make Your Mark Women's Battle Royal. I've got to say, Evelyn Sin has been here the longest by a margin, coming in at number 5 and still fighting strong. Jasmine Blade has Marie Mason up. Glam slam, face first, straight into the canvas. Evelyn's got Jasmine, though, and works with Marie Mason. Double Russian leg sweep. Oh, and a Mason kick takes out Evelyn Sin. Kongora twisting brainbuster on Marie Mason, and then eats a slam by Jasmine Blade. The hits keep on coming. These 4 women are just dishing out the high-impact offense like it's candy on Halloween. Oh my goodness, and Kongora, newcomer from BPW, takes out Jasmine Blade. Jasmine with a tremendous showing here in this Battle Royal. And we are down to 3 competitors. INCW veteran Marie Mason, a PWA and INCW long-standing veteran Evelyn Sin, and BPW's own representative from the Carnival, Kongora. Which one of these women is going to earn that Make Your Mark main event slot? And keep in mind, folks, Evelyn Sin has already won a tremendous accolade today. She eliminated the Siberian cyborg Anna Sokolov, which means that she will also be next week facing Anna Sokolov for the INCW Women's Championship. Kongora has Evelyn Sin, smashes down on the small of her back, and then Marie Mason with a big-time clothesline on the woman from the jungle. Look at the face of Kongora, I'll tell you. She looks like some sort of wild creature. A transformation seems to overtake her when she enters the ring, because she certainly looks more wild and terrifying in the ring than she did when she was in her entrance attire, I'll tell you that. Double arm suplex by Marie Mason. We could be seeing any one of these women win this thing, and it would be a tremendous accolade for any of them here. But all 3 of them have been through hell to get this far, especially Evelyn Sin. Evelyn Sin, shoulder-to-shoulder collision with Marie Mason. Bounces off the ropes, manages to catch Kongora in a satellite head scissors, sends her flying. Evelyn sends Marie against the ropes. Kongora elbows out of a headlock. Mason sends Kongora to the corner. Evelyn catches Mason, though, and sends her over the top rope. Cannot eliminate her, though. A judicious kick from Marie Mason keeps her in the fight. Mason kick to the face of Kongora, who is crawling away, trying to put some distance between her and her competitors as Marie Mason really lights it up. Pair of vicious leg drops to Evelyn Sin, making her ripe for an elimination. Oh, but Evelyn Sin managed to fight her way out, does not allow herself to be sent to the ropes. Kongora, though, big-time spine buster. And Evelyn Sin is definitely going to try to take a bit of a breather here while Marie Mason and Kongora take each other on for a little while. Evelyn cannot possibly have much gas left in the tank after being in this match for over 20 minutes. Marie Mason, what's she doing here? Big-time double arm suplex. And Marie taking it to Kongora with just a vicious punch to the gut. And Marie Mason over the top. And once again, Evelyn, unable to get the timing right, cannot eliminate Marie Mason. Kongora with a big flying forearm to the head of Evelyn Sin. I'll tell you, whichever of these women manages to win this match will have absolutely earned it. Evelyn trying to eliminate Kongora, has her up on that top turnbuckle. Marie Mason more than happy to let Evelyn do all the work there. Oh, but big time clothesline from behind by Marie Mason sends Evelyn to the ropes. Fisherman suplex on Kongora. Big time elbow drop on Kongora. And look at that! Missed again in the eyes of Marie Mason for the second time in this match. And much like Victoria Prime, Marie Mason is completely out cold on the mat. I do not know what Evelyn sprayed her with, but she is out. Completely out on her feet. And she is gone. Twice now, in critical parts of this match, Evelyn Sin has relied on some sort of dastardly mist to completely take her opponent out of the game. Wow. And now it is Evelyn Sin and Kongora, the final 2 women standing. What's Sin going for here? Widow's Peak on Kongora. Smashes her face first on the ground. Sends her to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Manages to hit a solid elbow on the wild woman from the jungles of Africa. Sends her to the corner. And has Kongora up. Is this it, ladies and gentlemen? Is Evelyn Sin going to be able to eliminate Kongora? She has her on the top. Kongora is struggling. She is struggling. She does not want to leave the match in this way. Manages to right herself. Makes it back to the mat. I think Evelyn was winding up for another blast of that mist, folks. But Kongora had it scouted. Evelyn Sin crawling for her life from this wild woman who might have her measure. Series of strikes driving her toward the ropes. Kick to the stomach. Can Kongora chain this together into an elimination? Another big kick to the stomach as it's possible that Evelyn Sin has used her last life here. Has Sin up. What is she going to do? Slams her face first on the ground with that extremely innovative offense. And sends her to the ropes. Is this it? Kongora is saying, fall, fall, damn you. But Evelyn Sin instead slides underneath the ropes. What an absolute amazing finale we are seeing here, folks. These two are putting it all on the line, and just like that, no, Evelyn Sin holds on. She holds on. I thought that Kongora had it. Kongora go behind. Oh, absolute beautiful Pele kick off of a German suplex. Folks, I'm going to lose my voice from the action here in this match. Kongora again. German suplex once again. Second Pele kick just sends Evelyn crashing to the mat. How much more does Evelyn Sin have left in her? Super kick. Floats over. German suplex. Deadlift style German suplex on the wild and crazy member of Sanctum. And a sliced bread number 2 driving Evelyn Sin into the mat. I do not know how Evelyn is still standing after all of the damage that she has taken. Punches Kongora into the corner. Sends her to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Leapfrog. Elbow takes her down. Drags Kongora to her feet. What is next? Sends her to the corner. Has her trying to muscle her over the top rope. Kongora is fighting it. She is fighting it with every fiber of her being. Evelyn is trying to get her up over the top. Kongora has absorbed a lot of damage, but as has Sin, and she fights her way out yet again. This match will continue, folks. Big time kick to Evelyn Sin as she is driven toward the ropes. Punch by punch. But Evelyn Sin fights back, grabs Kongora by that mane of hair of hers, sends her flying across the ring. Has her up. Once again, Widow's Peak. Gory special smashes her face first into the ground. Kongora may be out, ladies and gentlemen. She may be out. And Evelyn has her fighting. And look at that. Evelyn Sin. One big right hand is what it takes to finally eliminate Kongora. Wow. This is the greatest battle royal that I have ever had the pleasure of calling, ladies and gentlemen. Just absolutely amazing action from bell to bell. Tremendous endurance. Our number 5 slotted competitor, Evelyn Sin, hangs on until the end, eliminating multiple women and making her mark in NWC. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn Sin. And folks, that is it for us. What a tremendous return here. This was a bit of a hard reset for us after some technical difficulties, but hopefully the absence was worth it. What an amazing series of matches. What an amazing main event. Folks, NWC is back and in a big way. And we look forward to bringing you this same action week in and week out. Next week, we have 2 tremendous title matches on tap for you. Reckless Love will be taking on the combination of Danica Raven and Chris Knight for the PWA Tag Team Championships. And as we have just seen, Anna Sokolov will be defending her INCW Women's Championship against Evelyn Sin. Of course, Evelyn Sin, not only the one who eliminated Anna Sokolov, but the winner of the Make Your Mark Battle Royal. So that match, folks, will be our main event, a Make Your Mark showcase match. Wow, what a night of action, folks. I'm so happy to have had a chance to bring this to you and to come back from our technical difficulties stronger than ever. Once again, I am Ronnie Stockholm. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.